Hi everybody, welcome to Sunday. Just a couple of things to get out of the way. My name is Jill Lancet. That is my online store if you want to shop with me here in Australia and you don't have a demonstrator. Yep, I'm happy to be your demonstrator. That's also my email address there. And please contact me if you have any questions, anything at all, anything I can help you with. I'm happy to do that. Now, in the last video, I showed you some metallic watercolor paints. Oh, look at the mess everywhere. This is the brand. It has 6 colors in it. Everybody was asking me what the name of it was. DD Depraise. 6 color, starry color, glittery watercolor. Okay, right now, I've had this for a week or more, and I decided to have a play with the kit that is called Nature's Paintings. Now, I have had a play, but I want to show you something. In the back, you get some. Oh, let's have a look at them first. Gosh. I know everybody's excited about this. Okay, so you get these beautiful drawings. Here's some that I've already had a play with. Gosh, I don't know how many there actually are, but look at them. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? So I have had a bit of a play with a couple of them, and I am going to... First of all, I'm going to show you the kind of paper this is. Now, it actually states that it is watercolor paper. It is very, very smooth. It has very little texture. One side is smoother than the other. But what I want to do is I want to do some swatching and just show you various ways that you can use your watercolor pencils if you decide to go ahead and get this kit. It is beautiful. The designs and the drawings are absolutely gorgeous. I have got a couple of cards. I'm going to complete one drawing just to show you how I color in. Look, I'm not a trained artist. I just love art. I've picked things up over the years, and it just requires practice, practice, practice. So, yep, stick with it. Now, I did see somebody say that they started with kids' colouring books, like good quality kids' colouring books. If you can get them reasonably priced, you know, maybe you want to start there. But this paper, I was a bit confused because I did see somebody, a demonstrator, say that it wasn't watercolour paper. They said it was just thick cardstock. But it is very, very smooth. It is easy to mistaken this for just cardstock. So, yeah, the jury's still out, but I'm going to swatch this. Now, I haven't done this yet. In the back, you get 2 pages that are blank. I think it's 2. Yeah, 2 pages that are blank. Now, I'm guessing you can make your own designs, stamp on them. Why won't that open? Yeah, so I decided to do a test page. So this is the back. I've actually put the list of the coloured pencils that you get in the kit. I already had some of the Stampin' Up! Watercolour pencils, so they're all mixed in. They're all mixed up, but I wanted to make sure I made a note of it. So you get Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, Flirty Flamingo, Berry Burst, Early Espresso, Garden Green, Coastal Cabana, and Red. Now, we do have a real red, but this is a different red. It's slightly different. So, yeah. I'm going to swatch this, and then I'm going to use various items. Now, this requires practice. This requires experimentation. So you can decide which way you want to do this. And the best way to do this is to make yourself a little swatch. And let's just see. Now, I thought I might do a, what colour is this? A balmy blue and Daffodil Delight. So what I'm going to do is, I've written down here water painter. So you get a water painter in the kit as well. You fill this up with water. You squeeze that to get water into the barrel. And yeah, you can just use that. And you clean it in between on some paper towel. I'll just get some ready, guys. Hang on. So yeah, I thought I'd show you how they're really nice pencils. They're soft. They mix well. They, you can, disperse the colour really, really well. So what I thought I might do is I might put some of the balmy blue and just colour that in, make that quite intense at one end. And go off to sort of nothing, and then add some yellow towards this end and make that go to nothing. Okay, so this is going to be the water painter. So you prime this by squeezing it a little bit, and you'll see the water runs. Now, I'm old-fashioned. I just basically use water and a paintbrush. But yeah, look, if you have nothing else, this isn't a bad thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with the yellow. I'm going to go towards the blue. Now you can see how that just mixes so beautifully. And then I'm going to mix this with the blue. Now we should get green in the middle here, guys. Now to clean this, you just squeeze it and wipe it onto some paper towel. Now I will hold this up, okay? I will hold this up. So we've got this beautiful gradient of the colours that have mixed in the middle here to make this yellow. Now that is the water painter, okay? That is the water brush. You fill it with water and you use it like a paintbrush. Now I'm going to hold that up, okay? So this is a watercolor paper, because you really would not be able to do that on just ordinary cardstock. Now this is the first time I'm doing this experiment, okay? So now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use, what have I done with it? Here it is. One of the Stampin' Up! Blender pens. Now, these are not alcohol blending pens. These have a blending solution in them. I don't know what it is. It's got 2 tips. You get 3 each in the pack, so you've got effectively 6 ends that you can use. Now, these we normally use with the Stampin' Write markers. You scribble some of this onto a block. You can then pick it up with this and then use it like a paintbrush. It's got like a paint tip on it, paintbrush tip, like a brush tip. But I'm going to use it like this today, okay? So we're testing out the watercolor pencils on this paper, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, now I've left room over here to make myself some little notes to see which technique I prefer, okay? So I'm going to use the blue again. I'm going to go to nothing. And then I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight, heavy at one end, and fade that out. Now, I don't use these for this purpose, so I don't know how this is going to work, okay? So as you can see, the water painter did blend those colours beautifully, and it looks like watercolour paint. So now we're going to use this blender pen, okay? So I will start with the yellow. Now, just make sure it's clean. And I'm just going to bring that over here, just to here. I'm going to clean that off, and that's all it takes to clean it off. And then I'm going to pick up the blue. Now, as far as I can see, this works okay. You will get almost like pencil lines. Jury's still out. But it can peel the paper, as you can see there. It can peel the paper. So, yeah, and you can see I'm just cleaning that off there. Now, I will see if I can blend that any better than that. But it does tend to peel the paper if you get to scribbling at that. So I hope you can see that. Yeah. 1, 2. Definitely 2. Okay, so the next thing I've got is the alcohol marker colour lifter. Yeah, it's alcohol. This is what we normally use with the blends. But I'm going to try this. I think you will be surprised. I have used this in the past with the watercolour pencils, and I think you will be pleasantly surprised at how this works. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. You want to compare oranges with oranges, not oranges with apples. So we're doing exactly the same thing, but we're using different mediums to blend them. So I'm going to start again. I'm going to go in a bit heavy and just taper that colour off. I'm going to take the yellow and start it at this end and taper that off as well. Now, I will start with the yellow because it's the lighter colour. So I'm picking that up, and you can see that I can actually spread that. Yeah, you can see that I can actually spread that out. So now I'm going into the blue. Now, I'm not convinced that they actually blend quite yet. So we'll just have a little look. I think we're going to get a storm. It's been very warm. Okay, so I'm going to clean that off. Again, just on some paper towel. And I am just going to feather those edges to see if I can blend that. Okay. Alcohol lifter. Alcohol blend on watercolour pencils. The good thing about that is it will dry reasonably fast, but you can blend those colours out. So the last one I'm going to use is, if I can find it, had it right here a minute ago. What else is new? Look, it's right there. I have in this little container a sponge, just an ordinary washing up sponge. I've cut it to a rough circle. I've popped it in the bottom and I poured baby oil in there. I just keep this airtight lid on, and yeah, that's what I use. I've been using this for a very long time. The baby oil does not seem to dry out, but yeah. And this is what they call a paper stump. I don't know what else they call them. I think it's might be tortillon. I don't know. But it's like rolled up, very finely compressed, you know, really tightly compressed paper. And then they've sharpened it into a point. So I'm going to try that as well. Now I'm not putting water on it, as in watercolour pencils. I'm putting baby oil on it. So we're going to experiment and just see. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some heavy colour down here. and taper that off. And then I'm going to put some yellow, some Daffodil Delight, which is a gorgeous colour. It's very sunshiny and bright and happy. And we'll just get those to meet in the middle. Now, I've got this paper stump, as I said, so I'm going to just dip it. Now, I want to show you, just, you don't need a lot of baby oil. That's it. You don't want to saturate this thing. I just want to clean it. Oh, we are getting a storm. So I'm just cleaning it and wiping it off because, as you could see, it had a bit of red on it. So we'll try that again. Okay, so I will try with the yellow, and I'm starting off the yellow, and it does smooth the pencil out. It does give it a really nice look, to be honest. But will they blend? Let's see. So it basically doesn't, you know, move it too far from where you first put it down, but it does smooth it out. So now I'm going to go into the blue, and I'm going to bring that forward and see if we can't kind of mix these together. Oh, we've got some exciting music going. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's very appropriate for what I'm doing here at the moment. Now, we're trying to make green. I'm not sure we've achieved that in a lot of these, but anyway, I'm just going to clean that now. Now these, you can sharpen these. You can sharpen them with sandpaper. I doubt if you'd be able to pop them into a pencil sharpener. But anyway, these are as cheap as you can get these in $2 shops everywhere. But let's have a look at them now. Let me just pop that away. And we'll get up real close and personal. So that does act like watercolour paint. The blender pen to a certain extent. Now, hang on, we might have to focus that a bit better. The alcohol lifter surprisingly does move the colour and blend it, and so does the paper stump and the baby oil. Now, that seems to have retained the integrity of the colour more than any of them, I think. But anyway, that's our test page. So I've done it like this so that I can make some little notes and say which one I preferred, what I did, the name of the colours and all the rest of it. So that's a good idea. That is a practice point. That is a starting point for you to understand how these pencils work. They're very, very soft, and they are water soluble. But as we've seen, they're water soluble, blender pen soluble, alcohol colour lifter soluble, and baby oil soluble. So yeah, it's a case of, this one went on very smooth, I must say. This one went on very smooth. This obviously went on very smooth because they're meant to be like that. The other two were a bit of a surprise, to be honest. The alcohol lifter does blend it, and the blender pen does blend it also. So yeah, look, now what I've got here is I'm just going to go through and show you each of these, and then I'm going to show you the piece that I'm working on at the moment, and I'm going to finish it and just explain how I coloured it. So that is, of course, the cover piece. You get this sample. I think there's also an instruction thing, which I promptly lost in the first 5 minutes. Hang on. Nope, that's not it. But yeah, it's you can interpret it. You can take photos of flowers and just use that. They don't have to be actually true to nature. If you wanted to make those green, it's your painting. You do what you like, okay? So yeah, I have got a couple of that I'm going to show you. So that's that one. I've actually coloured that one. I've also coloured this one. This one here is my favourite. I have to say, this one is my favourite. Yeah, I did these blueberries. I haven't quite finished this centre part, but yeah, blueberries. I think I looked up what blueberries look like because I didn't know. And I think they basically have white flowers. So I've done my best there. So you get 2 of each. And as I said, I have already done a couple. The poppies would look absolutely fantastic. Now, you don't have to do this precise. You know, you don't have to stay in the lines. You can do this like a very loose watercolor. Stay tuned because I might do that with the poppies. I've been saving the poppies. There's a couple that are frames. Now, I'm not exactly even sure what kind of flowers they are. So, yeah, I'd have to find out. I don't know. You don't even have to find out. You do them any colour you like. Isn't that beautiful? That is just different fern leaves. That is going to be absolutely glorious when it's coloured. Here's another thing. You don't even have to colour the whole thing. You can spotlight, you know, put a circular frame or a square frame and just colour within that and just have what we call a spotlight technique. Here are some gorgeous, now I'm pretty sure they're waratahs. I could be wrong, but waratahs are in the protea family from what I can gather. So they're pretty similar to other proteas that you may or may not have seen. These, I think, are nasturtiums. We have some growing and the flowers are sort of like a vivid orange, and they have these little flat, almost like water lily leaves. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to colour. Some beautiful sunflowers. Who does not love sunflowers? Can you see that in yellow? Oh, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So there's 2 of those. This one, I don't know what that plant is, but it's now got red berries because that's all that I could think of. So this is done with purely coloured pencil. No blending of the coloured pencil, just colouring with the pencil. So I don't know what that is, but anyway. And then we've got a gorgeous poinsettia with some beautiful holly leaves, and that's the end. So you've got these 2 pieces that you can actually stamp and do your own thing on. I've just done a test page on one of them. Okay, so that's that. Now, as I said, you get a water painter and you get a selection of, you get 8 watercolour pencils. So you get Daffodil Delight, Berry Burst, Flirty Flamingo, Pumpkin Pie, Early Espresso, Garden Green, Coastal Cabana and Red. Now I have combined that with my other, I think I have 2 sets in here, some of which might be retired, but I don't care. I don't care. These are gorgeous coloured pencils. So, yep, I can, you know, these, I'll be using these for quite some time to come. So now I want to finish the project that I have started. Now, all I'm going to do is finish the colouring, okay? Now, I have it here. I have already cut this out to size. And with a Sharpie, I just went around the edge. There was a printed edge, and I just went between the lines. It's not perfect. That's not perfect. I just did the best I could. It's a handmade, hand-coloured piece of art. So yeah, if I've gone a little bit skewy, so be it. But I'm just going to finish that off and just show you how I did that, because it's quite narrow, and the Sharpie I have is a very, very narrow point. In fact, this is my old Sharpie, and I can't even find my newer one, so let's hope it doesn't dry out in the meantime. Now look, what I found is when you're trying to do things like this, have it so that the point of the pen is going up against the edge that you can see. Now if I try to do it along this edge, the pen's actually obscuring where I'm going. So yeah, I always try to colour up against the edge that I can see. So I'm just going to go, and look, I'm just trying to do little short straight lines, and it's not going to be perfect, guys. So I've done that side. Now I'm going to continue around here to this gorgeous curve. Yep. Turn your paper rather than your hand. It is very awkward to turn your hand, so always try and turn your paper, okay? Yep, I just did a big blob there, but anyway. So now I'm going to do the other side. So I'm doing the other half of the line, so I can see where I'm going. I'm not too worried if it goes outside the lines. Oh, we are getting a storm. Okay. So yeah, just practice, and any little bits, you just need to go in and put a little dot up against it. So this is probably the most tedious part of this, but I opted to colour this black. I just wanted that frame to make that stand out. So yeah, you know, you've probably already got some of these things already in one of your drawers if you're anything like me, okay? So now I want to show you how this has been coloured. Okay, so the background I actually coloured with a blend. And then I've gone around, the first thing I did was I outlined with the bullet point, with the fine tip. I outlined all the way around it. Then I coloured it in, and you'll get a variation of colour, depth of colour, intensity of colour. So then I've gone through and I've just gone and done some little dots. Now that just gives the background a bit of a mottled effect. It also implies this is not perfect. This could be shading around the outside of the flowers. But it's not so stark that it's just lines going backwards and forwards. That's what I just did, okay? Now, the other thing I did, as you can see on this leaf here, I have just coloured that with a very, very light soft sea foam blend, alcohol blend. The same here, I haven't finished this. I've done half of it with the very pale bubble bath, the light bubble bath. And you might be thinking, why are you bothering? Well, it just gives me that background to start with. So I'm just going to finish this, and I'm doing it with the brush end. I'm just doing it quite roughly. And you'll notice that it is now darker where I have just coloured that. It does dry a bit lighter. So I've used the very light soft sea foam, light soft sea foam for the leaves. I did all the leaves, all the stems, and then I coloured them with the pencils. So I'm going to colour this final little leaf here, this one here. So I started with the Granny Apple Green, which is not in that kit. you do get a garden green. But yeah, look, I like to blend my colours. So I've done that in that very, very pale soft sea foam. You'll notice my pencil is not very, very, like it's not overly pointy. They are very soft, but I just want to do some soft circles, okay? So I'm doing these really soft circles. I'm just popping this colour down. I'm going to then take the garden green and I'm actually going to go over part of the granny apple green with the garden green, and then I'm going to take the old olive pencil. This is my favourite. As you can see, this is my favourite green. So I'm just going to lightly, little circles, giving this a little bit of shadow. Now, I can go over that with the alcohol blend. I will show you how it reacts. I'm just cleaning that off. It has got a little bit of colour on it, so we'll just get rid of that. So starting with the light and then going through to the medium green and then into the darker green. The same thing, I'm just doing little circles. Now I'll hold that up and I will show you. How that has blended. We're talking about this leaf here. Okay. That's not very focusing, is it? I don't know if that's going to be better. Now I want to do this one here. Now I want to show you here. Now there is no light without dark. So you can see it looks like there's light and dark portions. Now this is red, but I have used which red is it? The red that comes in the kit. I've used that red. I have used cherry cobbler from my other pencils, and would you believe early espresso from this kit. Now I'm going to colour this in. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now this has taken me a couple of days in little time snatches here and there, okay? If you're not into that, then you can just colour however you want to colour, okay? I am pedantic, to say the least, okay? So now I'm going to show you how I've done this, okay? So I've got my pink. Now my pink is my highlight. That's what it's called, a highlight. You can see how it looks like the light is bouncing off these petals. That's a highlight. So I'm going to take the red, and I'll show you on this, the largest petal, I guess it is. Right there, I'm going to show you that one. Then I'll finish colouring it, okay? So I'm taking the red, and I'm starting at the top of that petal. I'm following kind of the curve of the petal, and I'm going down about, I don't know, not quite halfway, let's just call it that. Then I'm going to go up. Now, lovely artists that they are, they have provided us with lines to show us where, you know, shading and stuff like that would be. So as you can see, I've left a little bit of the base colour of the bubble bath, and I've just done light pencil strokes, okay? So now I'm going to take the cherry cobbler and I'm going to increase that, okay? So I'm going to start at the top where I started before, and I'm just going to go down almost to where I finished that first red. So you can see there is the first red. I've just stopped short, and I've done it with a feathery pencil stroke. So I'm going to do the same here. So I'm just stopping short of where the red ended. Now these would be natural shadows around here, okay? So now I'm taking, yes, early espresso. There is no light without dark, okay? So I'm just going to go into these darker edges here, and I'm trying to stay along the edge of the petal that is naturally in front of it. And now I'm going to take my cherry cobbler and just blend those two. They're not actually blending per se, but yeah, I'm taking it so that there's no harsh lines. And I might just do the tip of this to indicate a bit of curvature. Bit of curving in the shadow. Now I can try with my blend and just very, very carefully starting from the middle and working my way back. And just smoothing them out. And that's basically all it is doing, is just smoothing those colours out. So I'm going to do the same from the top down. Then I shall hold it up and show you. Now the colours kind of do intensify just a little bit as well. So I've got my highlight there. And now I can actually go back in with the pencil when that's dry. It's a bit wet, but I'm going to hold that up now and I'm going to show you, okay, how that has smoothed out. So the colours have smoothed out, but I haven't lost the integrity of the pencil. If you can see, it's still there. And when that's dry, I can go in and I can do some extra pencil strokes. So I'm going to quickly do the rest of this, only because I hate the thought that this is not finished. Okay, so I'm taking the red. I need these three. I can put all of those things over there. So I'm taking the red and I'm just going down, just down as far as about, I don't know, 2/3, I suppose. And the same going up. I'm adding my cherry cobbler. Now this one's going to be a little bit different because there is a petal over the top of this one. So I'm going to go down alongside that petal with the cherry cobbler. So I've just gone down there, and now I'm going to flick this up from the bottom and then go in with my early espresso. Now you could just leave this as pencil lines, and I've got one where I've totally just done pencil. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of the early espresso there, and then I'm going to take my alcohol blender and I'm going to start working backwards. All I'm trying to achieve here is just the smoothing of the colour, okay? So there we go. We've got another little highlight on that petal there. So I'm just going to continue on. I think I'll just do a couple more just to show you. I'll do these sections here. Okay, see these bits here. I will do that so you can see how I've done that. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to give this a light colour with the red. Now I want some of those pink highlights, so I'm not totally colouring all of it in. I'm going to take my cherry cobbler and I'm going to go into the bottom part of these little petals, and I'm going to leave some highlights at the top, and then I'm going to put some low lights in as well. That is the early espresso, and I'm just going to show you that now. So with the early espresso, I just want that right at the very base and where there would naturally be a shadow. Now I will hold this up, guys. Now, as I said, I'm no artist. I'm just old and I've been around the traps a bit, and I've learned a few things here and there. Now, you don't have to, you know, totally do these things real to life. If you're happy with the medium that you use, but you want to try these watercolor pencils, this is a great kit. You've got something to colour on and you've got something to colour with. Now, if you don't have this, you can, of course, use a small paintbrush and a damp. It's got to be damp, okay? So I'll just show you on these very tiny little, that you can do this just with a paintbrush, okay? Now, if you've got the patience to do this, that is. Okay. Now, I'm not totally colouring this. I'm just blurring the lines between those colours. So that's why you don't want this too wet. You just want this to be damp. So you need to figure out what is the best technique for you. So now we've got that. I might do one petal with the wet paintbrush because I haven't shown you that. So we'll do this one here. So I'm just doing basically what I had done previously. The same colour configuration, the same order that they were in. Just putting some cherry cobbler around here, and then the early espresso. Now with my brush, as I said, damp. You only want it to be damp. So you can see I can still move this colour around. And when I get to this spot here, I don't want to lose my highlight, okay? So I'm just basically blending those colours. And as I said, it takes practice. You need to decide which technique you want to do. But that's what I've used on here. Now, there's been a couple of different techniques on here, but now I'm going to show you a couple of cards that I actually made using some of these techniques. That one's not finished. We won't get to that today, but I want to show you that glorious, glorious magnolia one. And this is basically just pencil, okay? So I think I've used Melon Mumbo, I've used a little bit of Berry Burst and some Daffodil Delight. Now, you can see the texture, I hope. I don't know if you can. You can see the texture most certainly on the background. But I've just used little very gentle, soft strokes on that. So I've used 3 colours to achieve that on the magnolias. That is the Coastal Cabana in the background. I think that is the Granny Apple Green. I know it's not the Garden Green, but... And Early Espresso I've just used in various intensities of colour. So I got out my embossing folder, the one that is very textured like oil paint. In Melon Mumbo, I've just stamped a sentiment in black. I've just, oh, there's a little sequin that doesn't live there. Yeah, now I've cut that in half, so I've managed to get two cards out of one of these panels. I've just matted that in a very thin black border and done the same thing with the sentiment. And this one is totally out of my my wheelhouse because it is so bright. I think again it is Melon Mumbo, and I've used the Daffodil Delight. This I did blend with the alcohol colour lifter. You can see the gorgeous blend that it's given. It's created that third colour in the middle there. Again, I went to get a piece of Daffodil Delight out, and I had this in my stash. It's a very old embossing folder that we had a couple of years ago. Again, I've outlined the frame in the black. I just felt it needed it. There's a tiny little Melon Mumbo mat behind that. It pops. It picks up the Daffodil Delight in the flowers. But I enjoyed colouring this one. It's a bigger, all the petals are bigger, so, you know, you can get in there and you can have a go at it. Possibly the best one to start with. This is from a new stamp set, and if I could tell you what it was, I would. What is it called? It's a new one. I think it might be coming soon. But anyway, you get the punch and you get the frame and you get various... I can't even see it. Crikey, guys. Anyway, it's Sunday night. I'm done, but I just wanted you to have a look at what I've been doing the last few days. I've been playing, and that's all it is. That's all you can do is play, figure out how what look you like, what medium that you're going to use, if you're going to use anything to blend them. These have not been blended. You can see quite easily the pencil strokes, but yeah, have a go at those. Tell me what you think. I absolutely love this design. I would love a whole pad full of those. This one was fun to colour. It's I don't even know, is it a rose? I don't know what that is, but this one here, I will finish this. And yeah, I hope you can see how by varying the shades, now that is Early Espresso in there to give that really dark shadowing effect. The highlights really do accentuate the shape of the petals. As I said, I am no artist, but I just enjoy doing it. This is my art. This is how I do it. So have a go. You know, if this is something you've wanted to explore, here's a kit that provides you with the means to jumpstart into creating your own art. Now, there's no law that says these have to be cards. You could frame these, not necessarily have to cut them out, but I did cut them out to fit it onto a card, which I will do later. But anyway, that's your Sunday night. So I'll just leave you with all of the mess on this desk. And don't forget, my name is Jill Lancet. Please give me a thumbs up. I put a lot into these videos. They're free tutorials for you. I do the trialing and erroring. Is that a word? I do the trial and error part for you, so you don't have to. But any questions in the comments, email me here, tilly2145@gmail.com, or pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But folks, I hope you enjoy that. I hope that wasn't torturous for you. But yeah, look, give it a go. Give it a go. What have you got to lose? A piece of paper. Okay, I'll leave you with that thought. Stay kind. And I'll see you guys all on Thursday. Take care. Hooray. Bye for now.